Oh, I mean, it's been awesome ever since we were out in Miami training together, and now actually being in the building together. It's been cool kind of getting to know him off the field a little bit, but also just, the way he works. He's a workhorse. He's out there grinding just as hard as everybody else, and seeing him run some routes. Like, I've already tried to start picking up some certain things that he does while he's running routes, to see if I can do it myself. And a lot of times, it's very difficult, but it's just impressive to watch. And obviously, everybody's really excited to have him in the huddle with us.
Quick follow up a little bit. The expectations for yourself. I know outside of the building, the experts seem to think that Dawson Knox is going to have a big year. What are your expectations for yourself? What did you go into the offseason kind of looking to do and improve on?
Yeah, so I felt like year one was it was a tough year just because it was, first year in the league, trying to keep my head above water. Kind of felt like I was just treading water the whole time. And finally, towards the end of the season, I felt like I was able to kind of start playing faster, not really thinking about where I'm lining up and what I'm looking at pre-snap, and more just playing freely. But this offseason, I've had a jug machine the whole time, just working on the hands and some of the easier catches where I would start looking downfield before I secured the ball away. That was a big emphasis for me. But also, I'm really excited having the same playbook with Dayball and just the same connections, like on the offense with Josh. I was with him tons of, we had several throwing sessions during the off season. So just continuing to work on that chemistry and kind of just building on everything we did last year. I'm really excited to see what, this year's going to be like. I feel like, I'm ready to make a big leap.
Thanks, Dawson. Stay safe.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dawson. John Scott, good to see you.
How's it going?
Good, good. I wanted to kind of see if you could expand on last year, and drops were an issue, and what were some of the things that you did this offseason to try to, shorten up that little blip on your season?
Yeah, it was mostly just training my eyes. I realized there were most of the issues that I had were on the easier balls that Josh would put a, great ball right on my chest. I'd kind of already be looking to make someone miss before I secured that. So it was kind of just going back to the basics, training my eyes to the tuck. I had a jug machine all off season, which was great. And obviously getting together with Josh a lot helped there too. So I think, I'll be prepared and ready to go this season.
One quick follow-up. What is your reaction to knowing that in short order, Stefon Diggs is already referring to you as Mr. Stiff Arm?
See, that's funny. He's called me that a couple of times in the locker room. I mean, any compliment from him, I'll take. So that's nice. I'll see how that goes this year again too.
Yeah, there's some pressure. I mean, you got to keep it up then, right?
Yeah, I know. I can't be letting him down with that one now. I definitely got some pressure on me.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So, Mr. Stiff Arm, good morning. Mookie Harkins, Buffalo Sports 1080. Availability, growth, consistencies. Those are some of the three things Coach McDermott spoke of recently. So what have you done to address those things?
Yeah, just like I already kind of mentioned, just going back to some of the basics when it comes to catching, and then just working on fundamentals all off season. Obviously, the off season was a lot longer than everybody planned, so there was some extra time there for me to work on some specific things that I wanted to do. And even blocking wise, I want to get better in pass protection. I kind of want to be able to be out there and do whatever they need me to do, and I don't want to be a guy that they have to take off when they run certain packages. So I kind of wanted to just work on all areas of my game, make it a little bit more well-rounded, and just work on some of the consistency things with catching the ball, which I think was great that me and Josh were able to get together so much during the offseason.
So with that being said, we also know that tight end is a quarterback's best friend with all these new additions. Do you feel that what do you got to do to make sure that you maintain targets this year?
I think, having Steph there on the outside, I think that's going to open up the middle for me a lot. So hopefully, because defenses are going to respect him. And then obviously with Smoke and Cole, our receiving core is going to be special. So it's going to be really fun to watch those guys. And, hopefully sometimes I'll get a little check down ball here and there. But there's also going to be some good plays where I'm out down the field, number 1 or 2 in the progression. So I think it's going to be similar to last year. But also we're throwing in some, kinks here and there that I'm excited about.
Smoke, fire, Mr. Stefon, sauce. I love it. Can't wait to see it on the field, man. Good luck this year.
Can't wait. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dawson, Matt Perino, Syracuse.com. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's cool that you mentioned the time that you spent with Josh and some of the insight that he gave you, because I feel like it's a comparable situation. When he came in, he talked so much about like just getting thrown into the fire and having to kind of deal with figuring things out on the fly. What are some of the things that he shared with you in your time together that to kind of help you feel more prepared and more confident in year 2?
Yeah, so obviously, as a tight end, I don't have as much to worry about as quarterbacks do. I can't even imagine, his job that he has to deal with. But he's, off the field, we've just talked about kind of just trusting the same process that we're about to start again, going into camp, learning a few plays a day, just kind of putting those in the back pocket as we start working on the plays for the, if we worked on 10 plays yesterday, kind of put those behind me and start working on the 10 today. And then just kind of building brick by brick, kind of a good foundation of, getting the timing right with Josh down the field and kind of learning the playbook again as if, it was the first time, kind of reworking some of the fundamentals and kind of seeing the whole concept, which for me is a thing that's really helped knowing where I am in the progression. So, if I'm the third guy he's going to look at, I don't want to be open too soon or he's going to miss me. So, just some little things that are easier to work on year 2 that, would have been hard to get to on year 1 when I'm trying to learn the whole playbook, from the start. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to go this year.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Hey, Dawson, Matt Bovee here. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. You keep bringing up this jug machine. I guess how frustrated were you last year that became kind of your focal point of the offseason? Because it's funny, you look back and it seems like all the crazy catches you were able to make, but you keep bringing up the simple ones that maybe you weren't happy with. Was that kind of the biggest focus going into the offseason?
Yeah, it was for me, just because that was a very frustrating thing. There were some crucial catches that I needed to make that I didn't. And like I said, I even have some photos of me, the ball's getting there and I'm already looking to try to, make someone miss or do a, stiff arm or whatever you want to say. But I think it's going to be important for me to, like, even on the easy catches, just to work on my eyes, the tuck. And I think that's something that I was able to do a lot during the off season. Like, I got a bunch of little brothers and my dad was able to get on the jug machine with me and we were, catching a few hundred balls a day. So it was a pretty good off season.
I apologize because I know players don't often like to answer this question because you want to be your own player and your own person, but tight end is one of those positions where there's so many different varieties and so many types of tight ends. Is there somebody you kind of emulate your game around? Like, is there somebody who you've seen in the past and like, that's who I want to be? Because tight ends come in so many different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, to me, my favorite guy to watch right now is George Kittle. And I actually was able to train with him a good bit during the off season. He was there in Nashville, and we kind of used the same guy for some of the field work. So I got to know him a little bit. He's a great dude, super high energy, really fun to, work out with and compete against. But also just watching what he does on film is amazing. Like, he'll go, block a DN and then go out run a corner and, score a touchdown. So I think it's really fun to see his athleticism in space, the way he can create separation. And then, it's hard to bring down too. So I think if I was only to watch one person right now, I'd probably watch him.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked. Thanks, man. Be well.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Hey, Dawson. Jason Wolf at the Buffalo News. Appreciate you taking some time to talk to us.
Yeah, for sure.
Curious what you think about the value of consistency in personnel on offense this season with so many guys returning, given, everything you have to do, how weird this offseason and training camp is. And also the jump that you and Devin think that you can make heading into year 2 now that you do have that one season, established in the league.
Yeah, so Devin and I are really excited. I know Cody is too. All the rookies from last year, I think everyone kind of expects your biggest jump to be from year 1 to year 2 because mostly during my rookie year last year, I was just, trying to make sure I knew where to line up, knew where to, run my route and what to look for in the defense. Because, going from having a limited playbook to, Coach Dayball's offense, it was, night and day difference. And it was really exciting to see what he can do with, the weapons that he has. But last year was, for me, it felt like I was playing slower than I could have. So this year I'm really excited to kind of, already have the playbook mentally down. And then, like I kind of mentioned earlier, being able to dive into some of the specifics on, when Josh is going to be looking for me and against what coverage, and then how to kind of run routes differently according to what I see the defense, to what I see on the defense. So I think, especially me and Motor at those offensive skill positions, I think we're really excited to see that jump this year.
Hey, Dawson. Josh Reed again. If you were down in Nashville, you probably bumped into Connor McDermott, which is a whole probably other conversation.
Oh yeah, I saw him once or twice.
The thought of the possibility of no fans being in the stands. What have you even thought about that idea and what that would be like?
I think it's crossed everybody's mind at some point. It's not gonna. For us, first and foremost, we just want to play, but also knowing that there's a good chance, the fans are going to be either limited or not there at all. It's going to be really tough for us. It's going to be an obstacle for sure because of the way that the Mafia brings the energy to the stadium. And, it's so fun to play in front of those fans every Sunday. So I think that's definitely going to be a big thing that's missed if that, actually does happen to where fans can't be in the stands. And, we're trying not to think too much about that aspect right now. We're just trying to take it day by day and get better right now and try to, just keep focused on that first week. But if it does happen to where we can't have fans, I think everybody's going to be pretty, frustrated about that. And we're going to have to find a way to bring ourselves energy because, the fans do such a great job of that here.
Thanks, Dawson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Dawson, John Scott again. You've mentioned a few times how you and Josh were able to get together a good amount of time this offseason. Can you expand on that? How often, where, and how that all came about?
Yeah, so we were back in Buffalo early in the offseason together just for a few days. Just did some simple stuff, and then actually we saw each other in California because I usually go out there for a couple weeks. My agency's out there. Obviously it's great weather year round, so it's fun to train outside there, around February and March. So I actually saw him and Brittany out there together, and then for a couple of days, and then we went to Miami. Obviously did that little 5-day session, which was nice, and then we actually both came back up here about a week early to where we got 3 or 4 more sessions in before everybody started reporting for camp. So I think between those few trips, it was pretty instrumental on getting some timing down and just getting a little jump start on what we're doing right now in camp.
And real quick, take me through the jet ski catch. That thing was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I wish I could tell you that was the first take, but it took a couple tries. Yeah, that was my quarterback from Ole Miss. He's playing with the Chiefs now, but we had a football out there. We're just throwing it around, and we're like, hey, might as well video it. So, and then he wanted to bring me in motion, so I came behind him on the jet ski, and it was obviously we're pretty bored. Didn't have a whole lot to do, but I think that was a July 4th weekend, so it was pretty fun.
How many takes?
Probably 5.
Yeah,
we started getting the timing down, though. We started getting it pretty consistent. It was fun.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, Dawson. Sal Majorana here in Rochester. Look, one thing I want to ask you about was the blocking aspect of playing tight end. I remember talking to you last year, and you said it was a work in progress. And obviously, you know how important it is, especially in Daboll's offense. Where do you think you're going to be in 2020 with that? We know you can catch the ball and run. What about the blocking aspect?
I feel like I've been able to put on some good I didn't put on a whole lot of weight, but I feel like I did get stronger this offseason. Like I said earlier, I do want to be able to stay on the field, for all 3 downs, whether we're running, out of the I formation, we're running downhill and I have to block a DN, or whether I have to go split out and outrun a safety. I want to be able to do all of that. So I think I really do take pride in my blocking ability because I don't want to be one-dimensional. And I do think the coaches want to see me out there blocking as well. I think I showed enough last year to prove that I'm able to do it and that I'm willing to do it. But obviously there's some things that I can get better with that as well. So I think that's going to be, one of the couple of my main focuses this training camp.